I'm just going to do a in-depth video review of my new phone, which is the HTC One X Plus. This is the international phone. I'm going to try to keep this short as I can, but as you can see I have a lot to cover. Okay, so first of all we're going to go to design, and we have a very slim polycarbonate unibody design. It is kind of matte black with a very nice rubbery finish, basically. You don't drop this out of your hands at all. It's grippy, but it doesn't feel tacky at all. We have red accents around the ring of the camera here, and red buttons here, and let me just get that, and a red Beats logo on the back. It's different to the One X, it's different colour, and obviously I think it's slightly slimmer as well, different feel, and yeah, it's better than the One X, I'll tell you that now. It may look like this on the camera, but in real life these buttons at the bottom here, they're not light red, they're nice deep bright colours, and they look decent. And we have a Super LCD 2 display. I'm not sure what the pixel ratio is, but I know it's 312 ppi. This is currently it's like the third or second best display in the world. It's only beaten by the HTC Droid DNA, which has got a 1080p display. This is a 720p display, which is still HD, but not full HD, as it were. And the Galaxy S4 is going to have, unfortunately for Samsung haters, is going to have a 1080p display as well. So this is the second best in the world, but it will soon get down to like fifth best. But nevertheless, I mean, the colours and contrast are quite something on this phone. I mean, I've never ever seen in person a screen better than this, but obviously there is one or two. Has rather thin bezel, and you'll find this when you have a go on it, but when you just slide like that, I mean, your fingers just slide right off the edge, and very smooth and very, very nice. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pogo pins on the back here. I'm not sure if you can see those there. There is one dock in the entire world that HTC make, and they sell for 50 quid or something ridiculous. So I don't really see the point in them, but hopefully someone will create a decent dock for this. When it does go into dock mode though, you get a kind of landscape version of the home screen that you don't get when it's not connected. It is 135 grams, and that is reasonably light. I mean, it just feels like you're holding £500, which is the price I paid for it. It does feel very good, and you will be very happy when you pick it up. It just feels like it's very thin, very well built, kind of like a slate of awesomeness, if that makes sense. Also, the startup time on this, I've clocked it at 7 seconds, sometimes 6 seconds. So it's got something called HTC Fast Boot, which just does what it says. It makes it boot up quite fast, which I'm pleased with. Moving on to the hardware side, this thing has one of the best processors in the world, if not the best. I mean, at the moment, it has the fastest processor in the world. It's clocked at 1.7 gigahertz, which beats the Galaxy Note 2 at 1.6 gigahertz. It's got a quad-core Tegra 3 AP37 processor, which is bloody good, I'll tell you that now. It's got a very good graphics card, not amazing, but it does the job. And it has 1 gig of RAM, which it's not 2 gigs, and it's not outstanding, but I'm happy with it. I mean, it doesn't lag, to be honest, and I'm sure you'll be fine with it. And this point is where it comes in fucking great. It has 64 gigabytes of onboard storage, and I'm just going to prove that to you. I've downloaded so many apps that are very large in size. Got 2 gigs of music. I mean, I've only used up not even 18 gigs of storage, and we've still got 46 gigs available. Plus you get 25 gigabytes free Dropbox storage space when you sign up, which is pretty good. So all in all, that's 64 plus 25, that's 89 gigabytes of storage, which is just, I mean, it truly is endless. I mean, if someone can use up that amount of storage, I'll be rather impressed, I think. And this is a bad point I'm going to go on to now. This is a battery life, and it's not great. It's okay, but I don't know. It's when I'm at school and you just use it for texting and the old web browsing, it'll easily get you through a day, no problem. But when I'm lazing around at home doing jack shit like I am at the moment, and playing a lot of games, it does drain the battery quite quick, and it will get used up in about 6 hours of web browsing, and I'd say about 4 hours of intense Tegra through gaming, which it's okay if you're near a charger, but if you're not near a charger, you might want to get a battery pack for long days out and stuff if you're interested in playing games. Camera, we have an 8 megapixel shooter here and an improved 1.6 megapixel from the One X. The thing that makes a difference on the front facing shooter from the One X is it's only 0.3 megapixel up from the One X, but it runs something called HTC Image Sense chip, and Image Sense chip basically, I don't know what it does, to be honest. It just makes things a whole lot better, and that's my face there, and we're going to get rid of that face. But it's pretty nice. I mean, you can see there that it takes pictures quickly. It starts up quickly. It's got something called sightseeing mode where, I mean, I was doing this recently. I was taking a lot of pictures, and because I was taking so many pictures, when I locked it and then wanted to take another picture, it went, there we go, straight into the camera. So it knows I want to take a lot of pictures, and it's bloody clever. Yeah, so both cameras have Image Sense chip, which makes quite a difference. Also, you've got the camera options here. So you've got the aspect resolution, video quality, review duration, image adjustments, which I use a lot, exposure, contrast, saturation and sharpness, the ISO, auto balance, white balance, continuous shooting, various different camera options, including auto smile capture, which I don't think anyone will ever use, but it does work. We've got video stabilization, blah 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 blah. Yes, grid and shutter sound and all that stuff. And here, if we go on this one, we have, I'm not sure if you can see this properly, so I'm just going, this one here, we have slow motion video, we've got scene, so normal, landscape, portrait, backlight, night, text and macro, which do make a difference, HDR mode and panorama and group portrait. If you do actually go out, say, to take a picture of a flower, whatever you guys do, and you do select stuff like macro, it does actually make a huge difference, believe it or not. I've used it many times, and yeah, just a tip for you there if you do get this phone. Now moving on to the OS, we have, which is the operating system for you noobs, we have Sense 4 Plus and Jelly Bean 4.1 running on this device, which is fucking great, if I'm honest. As you can see, everything's very fluent. You've got endless amounts of widgets on here. I mean, we'll go through, but we've got 25 pages of available widgets, and you can resize widgets, you can do all sorts. I mean, it will show, say, if I want a photo album, if I just do that, it will show me where I can put it. There's no room on these screens, so I'll put it here. Then you just go in, camera shots, and there we go. And you can just flick up like that. And that's that. I don't want that actually, it's boring. So we'll get rid of that. And yes, that's the widgets. Yes, it's very fluent. It actually despite what many people do say about Sense, they've really upped the game from Sense 4 and onwards, because it used to be really clogged and really scruffy, but this is so sharp, and it's just it looks brilliant. I'm sorry for all you stock Android lovers, but it does look really good, and you can have skins here. So you can have HTC, aluminium. One of my favourites is actually concrete, so I'll apply concrete here. It just it changes the menu bar, it changes the app drawer, it changes everything. See, it's all different. It looks good actually. I'm very pleased with that. We also have, if we go to settings again, personalise. We also have scenes, so we have HTC, current, social, work, play, travel, blah blah blah, which I never use, but some of you might. Shit, I almost dropped the phone then. Oh, I forgot to mention, actually, on the note of dropping phones, this is pretty durable. I'm not going to do a drop test because I don't want to risk it. But I mean, it is polycarbonate. It has got Gorilla Glass 2, which is the toughest foam glass in the entire world until next week when they bring out Gorilla Glass 3. But yeah, it is very durable, and I do have a silicone skin at the moment, which is it does a bloody good job protecting it, but to be honest, you don't actually need it. I'm prone to dropping things because I'm a bit of a clumsy dick, but I mean, if you are sensible and if you don't go to school and don't get attacked, then you won't really need one. So another thing about Sense 4 Plus is it's very user friendly. So if I go into music and we use 2 fingers. This can apply to any list. You just go down with 2 fingers. You can select which letter you want, which is bloody useful because I've got shitloads of songs.
I'm not content to be with you in the daytime.